The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Do's and don'ts. Why don't you get your tablet out today? And let's write some things down. Now, my name is Ray. Last name is Reynolds. Write it down. See, the thing is, most people, sorry to say, what happens is you do things as a convenience. You're not desperate. You're not in a hurry. You don't want it now, 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 now. In other words, it's not a necessity to you. So as you watch this today, we're going to talk about me and what you can do for you. But if you want to, you see, your problem is you're working your tail off. You get up every morning. All right, maybe you drink your coffee and you drag yourself out of bed. That's terrible. I get up at 2:25 ready to go. I look in the mirror, pray to God. Simple. See, I like having money coming in. I have to worry about it. And most people, they worry about money all the time. Biggest worry that they have. These are businesses I would suggest to you. That's what I did. I wrote books on all of these, and I brought in millions and billions. So you can learn to play the game if you choose to. The bottom line is I like buildings worth 100 million, $500 million Lamborghinis. But again, it's choice. You see, your goal is to understand if I teach you how to do something step by step, I'm going to hold your hand till we're done, completed. No pictures, no recording. Because why? I want you to put it here. The goal is to draw that diagram in front of you. Here's a corporation. Here's what's called divisions or subsidiaries. You have to make a decision. Because the way a division process was developed was by me, 85, 86. If we look at Bank of America today, they have bankrupt 6,000 locations. If we look at Chase, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo. So they have a parent company that owns branch numbers. Now, they don't want this branch for whatever reason, and they bankrupt it. They get rid of the 100-year lease. They get rid of the liability, and they take the money and the assets away. And then they wrote it off on their taxes. So the bottom line is corporations get to win, and people, we the people, get to what? All right, kind of get shorthanded. Sam's Club, Geico, cities. So the goal would be, let's think about redoing what you do. Let's dissect it. Let's go to past, present, and future, good, bad, and ugly, and let's repackage your life. All right, and teach you how to be a certified CFO. Next thing is getting the mindset to millionaire and billionaire. Now I'm going to tell you about something you need to do. You need to look behind the curtain. As a little boy, I didn't get a mommy and a daddy like most of you. I got to be used and abused, and it sucks. I got Mrs. Hope. She dealt from hell. But I learned by stealing off the pier that I had a choice, go to jail or take out the trash. I learned to take out the trash. So understand something today. As a little boy, I started gathering magazines about rich and famous people. I learned that Marina Del Rey, Torrance Rocks, Palos Verdes. I was dropped off the pier every morning at 6:30 from the age of 3 to 9.5 years old. I learned they got money. I wanted mine too. How do I get my money? I study rich and famous people, how they did it. See, most of you probably complaining about rich and famous people? I'd say shut up and join them. Rags to riches? That's probably me. So the journey was simple. Morning, a taxi on the way to Gardena Hospital. She didn't want me. I get to be with Mrs. Hope to she devil from hell. Next thing is your journey today can begin with me. As we play, let's understand something. You will not get what you want in a corporation and be a certified CFO unless you understand your personal credit, because you have to be the first CFO. So if we take all our personal cards today and we put a sticky in the back of the card and we dummy size this, the limit of the card, 25% maintained, never past 29%. So we have to balance the debt. Then you're going to give me an excuse. I had to jack it up. I had an emergency. I'd say knock off the garbage, to be honest with you. These two cards don't fluctuate. These all do. So if we do this combination, we maintain a 750 score the rest of our life. Now you become a true CFO. And we look at rules and tools. Next, I'm direct. Your way didn't work. Mine works every time. But it's going to be up to you to pay attention and listen and learn. As we play, I have everything I ever wanted. Don't you? I mean, there's me, 1981, highest kick, fastest kick on planet Earth. And every time I hear some idiot say, white man can't jump, that makes no sense to me. I have everything I want. Do you? I'd like to help you get it if that's okay too. So I got classes on Fridays and Saturdays, and I'm online 6 days a week. Live. I don't like pre-recorded crap, to be honest with you. So what do we get to do? We get to play. Go to raisecredit.com. From there, I have a foolproof program. You can't even screw it up. All right. I made a promise to myself as a kid I'd never get married and have kids unless I had a foolproof program. And I had to develop it because it didn't exist. So you can't even screw this up as long as you follow through. Now, I wrote Winning the Game of Business 46 years ago. All right, from one of my companies called Repackaging America. What I put on page 6 is paragraph 3 is financial freedom, cash flow free per time. Now, we all go through bad days, and I called it an oh shit day. Sorry to say, but it's true. There I am dead at 5:41, July 5th. You see, we have 3 yachts in the backyard and we're millions and billions having fun. Now, my wife told people I'm in a coma. I'm going to die. We had somebody going on one of my yachts had a virus. All right, here's Ron going to the office at One Technology Drive for Irvine Spectrum. See on my books and CDs. Tom, my IT manager, sold my websites and my phone numbers. Never called the phone number. So again, here's the Millionaires Founders Kit that I developed to get into the first $1 million. I sold it at the Bonaventure for 32 years for $5,000 a set. The office, all right, my call center, they'll sell it for what? $4.99. Today I'll give it to you for $1.99 if you want to check and cover shipping and handle it. That's all you got to do, but it's up to you. See, there I am dead. That kind of sucks. Why don't you Google the address and find out I'm telling you the truth? So understand, starting a business, first of all, you had a friend and family member rip you off. You spent thousands on probably crap that didn't work. When you start a business, you might fall off the cliff. They're going to catch you, going to die. Hold your breath. We're going to focus on Chapter 18. Chapter 18 right here says a corporation is a legal person. Let's circle that. So the next thing is, when did I hear this? I was 7.5. I heard it at the poker game at Mrs. Hope's house. I rode my bicycle down to the Torrance Police Department the next day. Next door was a library. Man, what does this mean? She walked away. She was rude. 5 minutes later, here's a Machiavelli's book. You see, I didn't know what it meant, and I couldn't find a blueprint. So I developed my own, how to get to million to billion. You know what I did at 9.5 years old, going to the library for 2 years? I sent away $10 money order. Secretary of State of California. I got a corporation and came back. Do you know that all corporations are free? You just pay a filing fee. Can you imagine all these stupid people spend thousands and don't learn diddly squat? And the corporation was free and all they paid is a filing fee. Now guess what happened next? We're going to circle may sue or be sued. I got the corporation and came back. But then I got $100,000 of credit cards in the mail. People got credit cards in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in the mail. Got 100,000. I got even named in the movie Dave. But then I screwed up. I used the word Braille when I was 12.5 years old for the Braille Institution. I didn't realize they owned it. I started the Orange County Blind Center. All right, guess what I get to do? I got named in a lawsuit. This taught me simple. A corporation won't protect you when they get sued. They sue the founder or the voice of the company who was on the bank account too. So guess what we get to do? Learn to never bring the pain home. Is that okay? As we play, the word no does not mean no. You hear no and you accept it. I had 19 houses at 17.5 years old. They told my kid number 20, I'm collecting these, it's fun. They said, no, why? My loan to value problem. I transferred to my divisions, created the loan to value problem. See, no doesn't mean no, that means they don't know how. Let's find a way. So let's write down today's date. Let's project 90 working days. And I'll show you how to get your goodies like I got my goodies too. Is that okay? So let's understand something. If I build you to million to billion, I want you to understand something. We have to plan to live. We got to plan to die. So today, building that legacy. Let's write down irrevocable trust. How about UCC1? I want you to think about the assets in your house or your office today. Write them on a UCC1, chattel mortgage, county recorder's office, tied to irrevocable trust. See, where's your stuff going to go when you're dead? Someone's going to steal it, right? They're going to sell it as swap meet. How about we tie everything into the irrevocable trust and we learn to play my way for a while? The bottom line is I want you to learn. You see, the Gettys, the Kittys, and the Hiltons and all these other people, Firestones and Fords, they left everything to their kids. No, they let the kids control the corporation and play the game. Next, that corporation's a legal what? Person. It may sue or be sued. So we got to be careful. Because if the corporations get sued, we're kind of screwed up. So let's understand division process. A division under the corporation doesn't have your name on it. I developed that in 85, 86. We don't have to put our ducks in a row ever again. We get to play. There's that 17 houses that I had, or 19 houses at 17 and a half years old. You know what I realized? The buyer's a liar, the agent, the broker too, the contractor, the subcontractor, they're trying to steal my money. I decided one thing. I wanted to be the bank. The biggest thing for me is I wanted to be the bank. See, everyone's stealing my money. I don't want them to steal my money. And the biggest thing I learned for myself is I developed something when I tried this first thing. I sold a car. He gave me a deposit. He's going to go to his credit union. He's going to get a loan. I said, no, you don't need to do that. The company I work for, their division will carry the paper. So what did I do? I assigned the asset. And what did he get to do? He paid the payment, and I paid Ford Motor. In between that, I got $413 a month for 7 years. Is that good? I call that auto income. How about the first house I sold? By the time I was done being the bank on that, $1,200 a month. I was trying to get to $1,000, and I ended up getting almost $2,000 a month automatically. Now that home was a 30-year loan. We get to play the game. So what I'd like you to do is think a little differently. Most people do things on, again, like I said, convenient. I need you to think about doing things out of necessity, because that's what I was forced to do for me. So if we take an apartment complex, let's split deed the thing. Let's learn about assignment of mortgage. Now, my real estate system is designed for billionaires. Also, financial system become the bank buckets of money. And that's the assignment of an asset. We can learn to get auto income. See, the biggest problem of all of you, you're working your tail off, and what are you going to do? Start a business? And then transfer all that and put all the stress on you? I think that's wrong. I never wanted to run a business. I want you to own the company and let third party manage it for you. I'd like to help you get up to $100,000 a month, but that's just usually the minimum. So let's talk about free money. As I got that credit that came in the mail when I got a corporation when I was a kid, I found out corporations free money. See, all this credit is good, but you understand you have to pay it back. So if we do it correctly, $50,000 can get you up to basically what? $2,400 a month. $100,000 gets you $4,100 a month. So it's like anything that we do. All right, based on different types of business you want to go into. 16 ways to become what? An investor. Using the corporate credit, which is a write-off, the interest rate and credit card. So we get to play. Remember, I said take a picture of this page. I like getting people in storage units, EV stations, dry clean, laundromats, franchises, in real estate under the corporate divisions. I wrote the books on all these things. So we get to play the game, we get to win. Now, let's think about this. In 14 different states, you have properties that are under $100,000 brand new. Brand new. Let's understand the down payment is $5,000. How many would you like? Okay, let's understand that. We can use corporate credit to buy, finance, write it all off, and get auto income. And we want to go is to get up to $50,000 to $100,000 a month. Now, even banks, all banks have a repossession section. So the section that they have like a B of A, how about HUD properties too? So we could play this game. Residual income, auto income. All right, HUD, how about we properties with that too? How about we learn one thing? We can own it to be an investor. You see what I watch people do? I want to start a business, so they do. They put all that stress on themselves, and 87% failed anyway. Then later on, I want to buy a house or a corporation. I want an apartment complex. I want a franchise. Let's cut in line. Let's just do that now, being an investor. So I got a client. All right, I told him to get one dry cleaning. I wrote the book on that too. And he says, I want all 3 units. It took him literally $125,000 of line of credit. We use checkbook money, $63,000 a month. Here's a laundromat. They needed $40,000, $47,000 down. Okay, all right, $30,000 income. See, these are all ran by third party, and that's what you want to do as you basically become an investor. How about a Wendy's? How about a Jack in the Box? How about a couple gas stations? How about the empty buildings? We convert those. An opportunity is right in front of you. So what do? Blueprint. First thing that has to happen, every one of you, if you're ever going to get into auto income, I want to blueprint you. I want you on the phone with me up to 1 hour. And if you have a spouse or partner of life, I want them on the phone with us. Okay? I want to blueprint your life. That means past, present, and future. Okay? Good, bad, and ugly. The next thing is the family. Ultimate goal, corporation. Then we have to focus on divisions. Irrevocable trust, plan to live, plan to die. Next, we have to think about the car. The biggest liability you have on you is the car and the bumpity bump. The house should be basically what? Escrow, closed home, said trust. Actually, it should be bought through the trust. All right, like I said, auto income, cash flow for you per time. The blueprint helps you get lined up for the auto income. Now, credit, loan, and money. Your corporation should be a management company, managing a division for franchise and apartment complex. You should be building a line of defense right in the middle. See, what happens if the corporation gets sued? They sue you. A division, they have to sue the division and not you. We get to protect our assets. We can reference 3 times 5 and turn it into more money. The next thing is financial freedom. I wrote in my book 46 years ago, and get up to $100,000 a month. Shouldn't that be your goal? But that has to be done now for this year. Now, if you needed $25,000 of credit for you, the corporation, as you know, 10% is natural average, $2,500. I like to give it away or at a discounted price because I'm not on commission and I don't get a paycheck for 31 years. So if you did it during this broadcast, I can save you money to $19.99. Ultimately, go with $50,000 of credit. All right, discounted literally for $39.99. $100,000 of credit, $69.99. This way we can finance the American dream and have the fun to do that too. All right, always take a picture of this page. Zelle is simple. Ray Reynolds recipient, ray@raisecredit.com. Always put RW when you do this. It's Ray's webinar, so we know they came to the sale through this webinar with me. Bank transfer, deposit, or wire. If you ever want to use a card, you just email me personally, and we'll run the card for that too. But we do charge 5% because the bank charges that to us. So from there, we have to understand something. I had a problem. $53 million of credit. What am I going to do with it? Okay, they start to shrink my limits. All right, they don't like zero balances and silly things. So what did I do? I did my research going back to the library at the time, and I wanted to find out how to protect money and credit. I couldn't find anything. So I basically developed something for myself. Well, I created a matrix. So this means if I loan out $50,000 out of these 100,000 cards, I create $2,400 a month income. If I loan out the whole 100,000, it must be a business card. Anything above 10,000 is her personal credit. So I built my first matrix. A division allows you multiple functions. So in my book called Buckets of Money, I show you my first matrix that I created a division, corporations, 9 divisions across, and each division had a subdivision, and I created basically subdivisions as well. So what did I do? I created a matrix. It took me 18 months to do this. In 18 months, 41 divisions, auto income, and I got up to $190,000 a month. And I made sure it was tied to people's property when I loaned them the money. By the way, this first matrix became my second billion that I created. Okay, is that okay if you do the same thing? Or are you going to play? So what do? 41 divisions, and again, auto income. Many ways to make money. So we have to think about the matrix. Why? My next one's even more fun. $661,000 a month. I eventually got $2 million a day in 2009 before I died in the coma. So we have auto income again. Many ways to create and make money. So buckets of money to me, don't stop yourself. The only thing that can stop you is you. The ultimate goes corporations and divisions. The ability to play to make your money making machine. To get auto income. So if we look at credit, everything to me is rules and tools and steps. Everything is steps in basically a blueprint. And there's always a list. That's why coaching is more important to me, because I give you a daily, weekly, and a monthly list, and your project list too. When it comes to corporate credit, to me, it's all a write-off. It's great. The other thing, it's like free money. You just maintain the payment. All right, you don't take the money from the family, hurt the family at all. Divisions give you the line of defense. So if we do this correctly, the bottom line is very simple. Blueprint, auto income, build a legacy. So let's think about something, what I started in the beginning today. That corporation can have a division or a subsidiary. Banks use subsidiaries. I want to use the division process because my name's not on it. I'm going to use exactly what I studied in every rich and famous person, from the banks and the grocery stores in the cities. What am I going to do? Make sure I protect my family. So the first thing is stop bringing the pain home, become a certified CFO, all right, and reprogram my brain to millionaire status. The blueprint I started at 9.5 years old. I call it See It, Believe It, Go Get It. That's actually what it's called today, and it works 100%. So you got to stop treading water playing it safe. Playing it safe means you're not willing to pull the trigger, you're not willing to take a risk, and then you're never going to make it. You have to do things out of necessity, or you have to do you want it bad enough. Now here's more steps. Write them down because you can't take a picture or record. Number one, I'm going to get you 750 score. Corporate divisions. Line of credit up to $1 million of cash credit. Checkbook money. Vendor and supply money. See, these are a must-have, period. These are what you must have if you want to get to millionaire, period. From there, the goal is to repackage people. That's why I always call it repackaging America. And that's the ultimate goal. Again, there's 1,000 steps to master. That's why it's important not only to go to classes, but the coaching you get stuck with me on a weekly basis. The books and CDs, again, sold at the Bonaventure, $5,000 a set. Office is $4.99. I charge $1.99 along with just during a webinar. What do we focus on? Corporations, a legal person. It may sue or be sued. We have to understand something. The corporation does not protect us because we're the voice of the corporation. If we have a division, the line of defense, we have a problem with the division, we can disconnect, isolate, incorporate, put it over here. We can protect the family and the corporation. If you have a lousy tenant, you can protect yourself too. And on that, divisions get cash and supply credit all the time. So I'm going to always tell you this. All right, I'm not willing to hurt my family or the corporation. I'm going to create my line of defense. And what's going to happen is I'm willing to sacrifice a division, not the corp and the family. Most people have been sacrificing themselves and their family, and that's not acceptable. Bankruptcy, you got to look at it, because why? If you have an old what day, old shit day, what do we do? SSN? No, that's family. SS4, corp division subsidiary. See, we got to kind of plan the problem, hope it never happens. If you allow me to get the tax ID, all right, since I'm the one who helped set up the system in the first place, I'm going to set up Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, business reports under tax ID. And then we're going to go build a bunch of cash credit. And then I'm going to line you for checkbook money. That way you can get up to $1 million. All right, division of me. Remember, line one, legal name of entity or individual person. This means your name can go there, your corporation, your division, or your subsidiary. I can build you a cash credit up to $1 million. What do we get to do? The car division process. Sign the lease of a building division. All right, each property in a division. Receiving money under the SS4 means we don't pay tax and we're profitable. Next thing you have to understand, under the Fair Lending Act, one card is entitled to 99 more. Again, we get to play the game and win. The ultimate goal is not to bring the pain home in the first place. Now, for me, I've always been afraid to be broke. Go eat out of that trash can like I had to do it as a kid, being used and abused. So I've always had 3 divisions of me and 5 closet divisions. See, that gave me my backup. You never gave yourself a backup. And every time you look at your credit, if it's going up and down, you have an up and down show, it's because you keep screwing it up. And the lack of the knowledge is the stupidity of man or woman. People aren't stupid. Half the people in this world are freaking lazy. The other half to see it, believe it, go get it. 3 divisions of me. Coming out of that coma, they stole everything I had. I took a division, very simple. I built $1 million of credit to the closet divisions in 6 weeks. Bought my wife her next dream house. I gave myself backups. You gave yourself no backups because you never planned the problem. And that's why usually you get your assets kicked. That's no fun. A division of you would make sense. This means we can do a division of you under a tax ID. Something goes wrong, disconnect, isolate, incorporate. What do we have is a backup and a backup. That's the goal. So a division of me, and not only get credit, property, and franchise. It's a way to multiply money coming in. And that's the goal to never bring the pain home. So if you have a corporation today, please check it online, Secretary of State's or whatever state you're in. Find the corp. Find your name, officer's list. If you use your home address, please change it. If you did, you use your home address, you add yourself to the national mailing list and the robocall list. I would change it. I'd put my ducks in a row because right now when they sue that corp, they sue you, and that kind of sucks. Let's create the line of defense so we don't bring the pain where? Home. Isn't that the ultimate goal? So we look at the line one again, legal name of entity, individual person. Let's understand the IRS only created one form for credit banking purposes. It was the SS4 form. It's right there. Learning to play 26 ways. All right, a line of defense, one per entity. So if we look at the corporation, you're allowed four things. Buffer tax, no tax, corporate credits or write-off, car fleet price, hotel free buffet. That's all it's allowed to do, raise rules. Divisions are line of defense. They're cheap, multiple functions, buy at wholesale price, multiple credit reports, and real estate separating liability. There's the ultimate goal. Line of defense, corporate umbrella. What do we build? Credit reports. We get to play the game to win. So every division that's out there, what do we get to do? I set up the tax ID, the divisions, and the history. All right, and I get it set up for you. You build a corporate umbrella. I usually charge $4.99 per division. And you can get 3 for $9.99, so you get like 1 for free if you did it through me. From here, all these properties are divisions. I like the American dream. I like raceboats and yachts and Duffys and Harleys. I got to ride with Neil Diamond 3 times. It was kind of fun, and the love ride. So we get to play the game, and this is about $200 million of goodies I obtained, and I think you should do the same. As we do this, you should have up to $1 million of business credit cards and up to $5 million of checkbook money. That would be the ultimate goal. So that 1,000 steps, you need to master that. But if you're in my coaching program, I'm going to get you from beginning, middle to end. You're stuck with me. And we're going to use the Millionaires Founders Kit too. Money making machine, that's the ultimate goal to get you up to that $100,000 a month. Now, if I position you for personal and get you the right cards and line it up to the sub 50 above, then we're going to go to business. We want to get the green Spark card. Unlimited is up to 100,000. The two sisters at 30. So if we get those 3 cards, that's 160. But let's do it times 9. That's over $1 million, isn't it? B of A times 9. Wells Fargo, Inc., Gold. So these 5 basic cards out of the 10 I like, up to $5 million. Then we're going to position checkbook money. The bank will give you up to $150,000. No tax return, as long as you have a 2-year division or 2-year corporation. And I'm going to basically say these are my 5 favorite ones. I call that checkbook money, the ultimate goal. So again, that can be up to $5.4 million to finance the American dream, run it all off, and never bring the pain where? Home. And that's the ultimate goal. So if we look at Carl here, he has $1.2 billion worth of Bank of America. But again, he brought $728 million in last year. So he didn't pay any tax. We look at Walt Disney, they use an IOU not to pay any tax on $1 billion. So the goal would be, if you allow me to build the cash credit for you, borrow money is not taxable, and you use that to buy the business. And it's a third-party business that'll help design for you. And we can start with 1,000 to 5 to all the way through. And what do we do again? Borrow money not taxable. We use the corporate credit card or the credit lines, and we go buy our what? Lifetime income, which should be real estate or franchise ran by a third party. You should be a true investor. Now, let's say you won the lottery. What do you do now? Well, the reality is your CPA or tax person is going to say, put in your personal account, you're going to pay tax on the money you earn on interest. I'm going to say no. I'm going to tell you to put a division at the bank account you have for the corporation. You don't need a tax ID. I want you to deposit the money. I want you to with the banker and create a line of defense, a line of credit. Borrow money is not taxable. So what do? We turn this into million to billion. That's the goal. If we did real estate, which one's going to sue you and slip and fall? I don't know. We put them in the divisions. What do we get to do? Protect our assets too. House payment offsets taxes. Amazon didn't pay tax on the first 10 billion to trillion. Why would they pay that? See, there's no loophole. You're allowed to do these things, and that's what's important. We watched him borrow money, 44 billion, from 3 banks, literally to buy Twitter, and it took him 3 weeks to screw it up. I call that twiddly-dee, twiddly-dum. But he's got a spaceship, so do the other 2 guys. So you could be joining the club and winning the battle if you want to. But again, you have to understand how to play. Now, he only uses 12 rooms in that house. Mark buys all the houses around the neighborhood. Mr. Buffett has 64 houses. What do we do? See, again, what do they do? Learning to play, we can join the club and win the battle. These companies do not pay state or federal tax because why? They offset the tax with the lines of credit they obtain to grow the business and keep growing forever. So that's how it's done. How to receive money matters. SSN versus SS4. Again, we're going to play the game to win. So if we play this game correctly, we look at our SSN. We only get one chance to try. We look at the 29% rule, 71,000 of safety. Or we don't use personal credit to start a business. That'd be kind of silly and dumb. Over here, we're going to get the corporation, tax ID. We're going to create 3 divisions minimum and create a line of defense. Or we don't name it after ourselves or what it does. From there, what do? A division for houses, franchise, current business, all right, and we set up a line of defense up to $1 million. And what do? We finance the American dream, and that's what we're allowed to. I'm going to have you self-analyze yourself a little bit. You have a C or LLC, convert it to S, 1244, almost not pay tax up to the first 3 to 5 million. House payment offsets taxes, would make sense. Break even. Let's say today you want to sell widgets or computers. We go after OPM money. From there, 100,000 to $1 million, vendor and supply money. We build the Dun & Bradstreet. And what are we going to do? If you have debt you can't get rid of, you take a picture here. We use this supply credit, turn it to cash, balance the debt. Because there's always a solution. And that's the biggest thing to understand. With me, there's always a solution to get to the next step. From there, we can sell on Amazon and eBay. Again, I got everything I want. Isn't it your turn? You can go to classes all the time. I'm online 6 days a week, classes Friday and Saturday. The ultimate goal as we play this game. So raisecredit.com. Check it out some more too. What I call coaching for me is very important because when I go through the coaching process, and I have them on the phone every week, private phone call, we're going to go through this program and make sure they understand every step. And I get to kind of tell them what to do. And I treat them like they're about 2 years old. Here we look at the blueprint call once again. Past, present, and future, good or bad and ugly. Family, corporation, divisions, irrevocable trust, house, car. From there, auto income, and basic cash flow for you per time. A blueprint call is $999. That's auto income. The next thing is if I go from here, the next step, after the blueprint call, now we have a blueprint, where you're at, past, present, future, and where you want to go. We take our list, we work through it every week, and you get the steps every time. Daily, weekly, and a project list. That's the goal. Auto income again. I pick boring businesses because I don't want to run them. All right, every time I invest $40,000, I'm usually getting up to $3,000 to $10,000 a month. 100,000 up to 45,000, 250 up to 75. This is all the credit lines and the things we build on the credit in the corporation. So we're not going to steal from the family anymore. The ultimate goal. Here's an apartment complex. As an example, they want $3 million for it. Okay, that's 10% down, 300,000. I'm taking from lines of credit. So what happens is now you close the escrow, and now you have this money coming in 13,452. But you think you're done. You're not done. Why? Because one of those tenants can slip and fall and sue you and kind of take everything you got. We're going to do something different. We're going to do it my way. We're going to split deed each unit and do an assignment of mortgage. You're going to create to $76,800 a month. Now, you just also reverse the liability. As the bank, they can't sue you, but you can sue them if they don't pay. The ultimate goal. See, going to an expo is like the deer in the headlights. And that's the most important thing you understand. Which one are you going to pick? I want to make sure we go through the list. I give you a broker's list, and we start looking through that list and look at different things we get to do. Because I want you to use the corporate credit to do this. From there, real estate, franchise, storage units. We have a 6 weeks, a 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months program. The 6 weeks, we have basically one left that we wanted to give or sell to somebody. From here, 6 weeks, you're stuck with me. The ultimate goal will give you $25,000 in credit. It includes the blueprint call. Okay, all right, expedited, rapid, corporation, 9 divisions, you don't have it. All right, now what happens from here is the workshops. See, what we have to do is line up all these pieces and all the histories and put together so you can actually go to the next level. All right, the ultimate goal between blueprint and the bottom line is getting that first call and getting it down. All right, that's the ultimate goal. Now, this is normally $11,596. Okay, through me, it is $4,999. And no, we don't take deposits. Okay, because it's $2,000 of hard what's in there just to get it started. It costs us $2,000, so there's money. So we don't take deposits. To answer your question, Bill. From here, it's a Zelle, bank transfer deposit. That's how it works. That's the deposit in the bank. Okay, from here, as we do this, if you want to use a card, then you just email you want to use a card. Once again, we use 5% because that's what the bank charges us. So from here, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. The goal is, again, some people start at 6 weeks and they just move up and away. But again, it's going to be up to you. That goal should be $5 million, by the way. A 3 months program means you're all set up and getting checkbook money. When it comes to 6 months, you should have your first location. 12 months, you should have multiple locations and up to $100,000 a month income. That should be the goal. From there, we want to get 10 to 50,000 in the beginning, auto income right away. So what are we going to do? All classes, rapid rescores, all right, all the time, calls, and we want to analyze you every 7 days. We stay on top of your case better than you do. So what happens here, we're going to look at the projections, the increases, and daisy chaining the credit, getting that structure as well. If you're looking at a 3 months, I don't take payments. All right, I started doing payments a long time ago because if you can't afford it, don't get into it. Okay, the bottom line is if you want 3 months, it's $8,000. But I'm going to build you up to 150,000 credit. From there, if you wanted the 6 months, it's 15,000. I build you up to 300,000 of credit. If you wanted the year, it's $30,000, and I build you up to $500,000 of credit, which normally would have cost you 50,000 anyway. So it's always a Zelle, bank transfer, deposit, or wire. So what is our goal? If you want to use the card, you email me at ray@rayscredit.com. From there, what is our goal? Corporation, divisions, line of defense. If the banks and grocery stores can do this, we can do it too, and I've done it all my life. So the ultimate goal, I become your coach, and I coach you through every step of the way. That way you get to basically stop bringing the pain home, become that certified CFO, and understand how to get your brain thinking about millionaire status. We got to definitely look behind the curtain. It's how I learned to play the game, learn how to win, and got up to 2.6 billion at 26. From there, we got to do our best as God does the rest. Amen to that too. The ultimate goal. So ladies and gentlemen, that's a good overview about auto income. And if you want me to be your coach, there's the phone number, 800-254-9506. I'm hoping to have my last 6 weeks tied up today. But again, if that person doesn't make the deposit today, then I'm going to give it away to the next person who wanted was Bill. All right. So the goal is very simple. Let's do our best. God always does the rest. Amen to that too. And never forget at the end of the day, God loves us all.